Hello spider peeps. Okay, so this is a bit of a mess on the desk. This needs knolling, but today I'm going to play about with another CyberBrick model. Now I made a Dozer D10 the other day. I 3D printed it and I put a video about that here. It wasn't really very popular, but I tell you what was a bit more popular. It was my video where I did the dodgem car, the bumper car on CyberBrick. So today I thought I would combine the CyberBrick with another dozer and I would make one of these, which is a skid steer. Somebody commented, said they tried to make one of these and they couldn't get it to connect, and I had exactly the same problem. But you know what, I was trying to connect on the MacOS version and I was trying to get the core and the remote control to connect on that, and for some reason I couldn't get it to work. But when I tried using the iPad version, it worked. And I did see at some point when I connected on the macOS version, it said it was connected in developer mode. Now I didn't play with it anymore and didn't try and work out how to make it connect in normal mode. So I think maybe it was doing some debugging or something and that was stopping it working. So I thought the best way to really try this is get all the parts for it to begin with and see whether I can get the app to connect first. So let's have a go at this. What have we got? So on this we've got the core here and it's got the little connected to the little servo hat onto it. And I think this wire here connects to the teeny little distribution board for the LEDs. So let's pop those in first, connect those up. And I've got some teeny LEDs around here somewhere. So I assume they connect to the first couple here. These are so tiny, make sure that the pins and the holes in the plug line up. They seem to be. These LED lights I didn't buy directly from Bamboo, I bought them from AliExpress. So trying these out as well. So if it doesn't work, I won't know whether it's because I bought fakes or... And they still were branded Bamboo when they arrived and they came in the little bamboo box, which are really cute. So that worked okay. Okay, so that's wired that up. We've got to put two motors in. I'm only going to put one motor in this at this time. So where does the motor go? I think the motor goes into that one. So the motor only uses two connectors. Then I've got a couple of servos. Okay, so this is on the back of it. So the orange one goes to this side, and that's when the bottom connector is pointed down. Okay, so let's pop the orange ones that side. And do they go on the... I think they go on the top set of connections. That should be all we need. Is that everything? That's almost it, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, now we've got to connect the battery to it as well. So let's connect the switch. That goes in there. And then this connects to the main board on that white connector that we were just using to orient the board. Let's pop that in there. There's everything set up. Apart from I'm only using one motor for now. So now how do we connect it up on this? Let's go back to CyberBrick. Okay, this is the hexagon version of that I'm using today. Where's the bit CyberFix files open? I think makers config. We have to do that, don't we? Load that. Okay, so remote transmitter. So choose core to start with. Turn that on. Oh, red remote already there. So I'll do connect to that. Device is connecting. Okay, just to make sure you've got the right one. Send that. This has still got the code in for the dodgem cars. So yeah, okay, that's worked. And I think this core has got the same stuff in there as well. So let's just connect, choose core. Oh, I've got to turn it on, of course. That would help. Connect. Device is connecting. There you go, it's flashing like Billy-O. Do next. Do I want to send it? It's already got something in, but that's fine. Do you want to do it? Yeah, confirm, confirm. All board connected, go and play. Okay, so does this work? That's turned on, that's turned on. If I move any of these or get any activity, did you see that twitch then? All right, so yeah, That's working. Maybe that's to do with the tracks or the treads, I'm not sure yet. And I assume then this side must do the servos. See that moving? I wonder if you'll see it if I put this little cog on, which is supposed to go on there, I think. Let's just move that. There you go. So I think that's all working apart from the lights. Have I bought Duff LEDs? I think the lights were on this button. Just see whether they come on. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so we've got the lights working as well. So it looks like we've got the two cores connected okay. So ready to build the model. First of all, I need to tidy up this mess. Okay, well, it's not that tidy, but it's a bit more tidy. Got the body of the dozer, got the top of the dozer. I've already fitted the lights in. Some of this is a little bit built already, just to speed things up. Okay, so I've got the instructions here on my iPad. I'm not going to talk about the whole instructions. The instructions are pretty good. Just a few little bits that I've done differently. The bulk of this are these little M2.5 6mm machine screws. So most of it is built around that, apart from some of the things we get on the servos. So to begin with, we put the little switch mechanism onto the back of there. And then straight away we take the output of the switch. And this was the mistake I made. And as opposed to just leaving that there, that needs to go through that hole first. Otherwise we won't be able to get that to fit through the hole once we've put these servos in. The servos go in nice and easily. So these control wires need to go through that hole as well. Just pull them through, get them out of the way. And then the servo fits in with its actuator at the top. For some reason, my servos have come with different coloured actuators. But these servos were bought directly from Bamboo Lab, not directly from Ali. So, I don't know. Different suppliers, I suppose. Right, so the next thing is we need to use the motor, and we have to put the little cog on the front of the motor there, feed that through the hole, and we have to try and get it up the middle. So you can see why I did some of this before, because it can be quite fiddly to get it out of that hole, which is why I used these things. But it looks like I won't be able to use them, but I just got them there just, you know, to demonstrate that's what I used. But they're really cool little things. Apparently for pulling something out of your ears, which is weird because I was once told, as I've said many times on this channel, you shouldn't put anything in your ears smaller than your elbow. Okay, so now we begin to build up this motor thing. And what I found, you see, I've already got one of the cogs in there. You've got two of these little spindles that go in. This first one has got a decent hole to go into. But that second one, it goes into a more shallower hole. And I ended up putting a dab of super glue on the end of it just to hold this in. And it kept everything aligned and working a lot better, I found. But it doesn't half go in a satisfying manner. There's a bit of a prescribed way to put these in. And as I already did test build of this, I've got some of the silicone grease on it as well. Don't want to get the goop all over my hands. So this one goes on again with its little cog at the top. And then finally, the actual drive cog, which sticks out the top of the assembly, goes on there. That's very pleasing to put this together, but something that isn't as pleasing is connecting all this up. So I found that if you hadn't glued that spindle, it wouldn't align with that hole. But this is the bit where maybe the design could be improved a little bit, because I think we need to have a bit more pressure on this when we're building it. But all's good, it will work, I hope. Again, these are all the M2.5 6mm machine screws. Okay, so that's built, and as you saw, there's the other build that I did previously off camera. Printout files for this have got this little mount. So as you can see, I've already mounted this on there. It's straightforward. You don't really need to get confused by that. But again, the same screws go into those mounts through the hat, and the bottom part of it goes into this bottom part here, so that mounts like that. But we won't do that straight away. Let's connect the wires up first. Obviously it's not hard to swap these servos over afterwards if you have done it the wrong way round. But this is more the wrong way, left and right, as opposed to the way that you plug these in. In my experience, you have to be careful with these little servos, because if you put the plugs in the wrong way, it doesn't matter if the servos are the wrong way round, if these were connected to the wrong pins. But if these are the wrong way round, then you might blow your servos up. And as these aren't the cheapest servos, then we don't want to mess that up. Okay, so that goes in there, and then we need to do the left and right motors that go on the side. So these go into these little sockets there, as I did at the start. So check where my pins are. Little plugs are lovely, but you actually do need normal scale spider hands to get them in properly. Or is that spider legs? Nobody knows. All right, and then this is the wire that goes to the LED distribution. So I think, have I got everything in there? I think everything's in there. We pop that in, maybe that way. There we go. Got in there eventually. And then let's plug the main voltage in at the top, and we'll hide these around at the bottom. I think that's it for the top. Then the only other thing we've got to do is in the top of here, so those LEDs fit into there, and then we get the little board, and then this screws into the base down here. So I think the best way with this is to plug this bit in first, otherwise we can't get to it afterwards. So let's plug him in, and then we can screw that into the underside of the cab, into that little hole that's already there. Can I do this without slipping? Hang on, there we go. So in he goes. And then we can take our little plugs and plug these in. And I think still it would be easier to plug these in before we tried to screw it in. Okay, then finally this goes into this side of the board when you view it from the front. We need a little bit of help. Then that should go in there. It's a bit fiddly getting all the other wires out the way, but it will go in eventually. And we could super glue that down if you want. So we get in there now. So now we have to start doing the stuff that goes past the point of no return. Now I've noticed with these, if these come straight off the printer, they don't fit in here very well. And what I did was, see, that's not going to go in there very well at the moment. So what I did, I printed these little lugs out. I can't remember how much smaller I printed them, but I don't know, I did them at 90% or something like that. I just kept on making them smaller because they don't take long to print until they would fit correctly in those holes. So that was a bit that I felt I needed to adjust a little bit. But we've got those two in there anyway, ready. We don't need to glue those in yet, but that's for connecting the scoop onto the front with afterwards. But now we use the super glue, which is scary for, well, it's not scary, it's just super glue, isn't it? So that's for connecting these two bits together. So we need to put the glue on first. Ew. So we need to put the glue on first, and then put them together on the vehicle. So we want to just be careful we don't get the super glue in any of the other cavities. So this goes into this back hole here. That goes into that hole there. So we can get that through without touching the sides, I hope. Keep it moving. And then the other one comes in from the other side and connects into that. And then at the front, we've got these two parts joining at the front as well. So this is the only permanent bit that we've got on this. I like to keep moving it a little bit in case that glue has leaked. I think that's about right. So this bit needs to go into here. Clean a bit of that out first, but make sure that that can move smoothly in there. So let's pop that in there, close that, then we can glue that in to there. Now once we've done that, we can put the little cog on there, and then this is the one bit where we don't use the Torx screw or the hex screw. So this is one of the little screws that just come with the servo horns, so that can just go in there, and we tighten that up gently. Now let's put the scoop on. All right, the next thing we've got to do is tie a little bit of cord onto this little pulley, and then the opposite end of the cord thread through the underside of this. So hopefully, if your printer has managed to print it without blocking the internal hole, also a good thing that you should try before you build this, that little end's coming out. And that's what this little hole on here is for, so that pulls through there, and we tie that nut up a few times. And they suggested to use a little dab of super glue on this, which I thought was a good idea. All right, and then if we push this gently down, it should go, and then we take the other side of it, push that onto that servo there. Now, the elephant in the room, this comes with tracks. Now, I've printed this out with TPU for AMS, and it's not right. It's not rubbery enough. It doesn't catch to the inside of these tyres. But I did notice on the profile someone had done these alternative ones which allow you to use the rubber tyres that come with the main bamboo kit, and I think these will work better than the treads because I've just got the wrong TPU for the treads. So we push I think these are just skateboard bearings, push them into the tyre, and then we've got two different sets for this, two different axles. So there's some freewheeling ones that go on the front, and then there's these ones which go over the drivetrain. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to super glue these onto there. Try not to do it too thick so that it doesn't foul up the rest of the bearing. So I think that's it, with the exception that we've got to put the battery in. So we've got our lithium batteries to go in this, and we've got this real satisfying compartment in the bottom where the battery slips in, and we can liven up the circuit. So I think we're pretty much done there, apart from turning it on. Let's turn this on as well, and hopefully they'll connect. I'm hoping that inside, yeah, so inside we've got a little telltale light on, so that's good. We're doing something. Both of these on, so are we? Yes, we're hey, so we are connected. So this moves it forwards and backwards. Got a little bit of goop on the tyres there, so we've got forward, well, and backwards mostly. Again, we've got traction issues, haven't we? Just check that we've got both tyres driving. We have not. All right, so this side I've got to fix somehow, but we'll sort that out later. And then we've got up and down. So the up and down for this, we just push up and down there, and then if we do it sideways, it lifts the arm up. I'm going to make sure that that rolls onto the pulley there. That's it. Now it's on the pulley. So now we can go up and down gently with that, and then up and down gently with that. So satisfying. And then I've just got to debug the bottom bit. This is a cool little model, a bit like a D10. I've always wanted a skid steer, I probably have more chance of getting a skid steer than I do of a D10. But let's face it, I'm going to get none of them. All right, Spider Peeps, so I hope you enjoyed that. That's how to build this CyberBricks model. Again, a little bit of debugging that I've got to do. Probably it's just I've not pushed the cabling hard enough on there. But yeah, what a great little model again. So thank you for that, Hexagon. If you were the original designer, this works really well with CyberBricks. All right, I'll see you in the next video, Spider Peeps. Bye. Yay, fixed it.